Oh, and there's Cyclops. Wait, what was that behind him? How's it going, YouTube lovers? This is the Eagle and Rammer. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing the reaction video. Today I'm reacting to the third teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday. This is one that I have been very excited for because, again, the supposed order of what characters are gonna be featured in each of these teasers. So far, the second version of that has been pretty accurate, and I'm very excited to see the characters that are going to be present in this one because we're not going MCU, well, now MCU characters, but we're not going to go with characters who originated in the MCU for this one. We're going to go with ones who existed before the first Iron Man in the movie universes. So this is going to be the first one that feels like properly multiversal, I feel like, of these teasers for Doomsday, which is supposed to be the beginning of the end of the multiverse saga. So let's go ahead and jump into this and check out what this teaser has to offer without wasting too much time, because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty cool to look at. Huh, this building sure looks like a mansion, doesn't it?
Death comes.
Oh, here we go. Ooh, looks like there was already a fight here.
The question isn't
Xavier's school.
Are you prepared to die? The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?
Hey, Professor. Oh, there's Magneto as well. Gosh, it is wild that we're going to see both of them on screen together. Like, wow. Oh my goodness. Different hairstyle there, Magneto. Oh, and there's Cyclops. Wait, what was that behind him? The X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday. There was something walking behind Cyclops back there. Yeah, I'm really glad that in these reactions I go through and do frame by frame afterwards, because there was absolutely like a big figure walking behind Cyclops at the end right there when he was doing the whole like sky I-beam thing. That was a pretty cool teaser. It was cool seeing these characters together. Very gloomy monologue talking about how just death comes for us all, but then again, we have two very old characters talking to each other here, so just from there that makes sense. But also this is just the sense of impending, well, for lack of a better term, doom coming for all the universes and all the heroes with Doctor Doom on the way. But yeah, no, this was a good teaser. I knew this one was going to come. Again, I really wish that they weren't doing the whole theatrical release first. I'm fine with this weekly teaser thing, but the theatrical release first is making it so difficult to stay completely blind for these, because people like immediately are like, oh, here it is. I even like avoided movie news accounts when this thing first came out, and just some random person that I follow who doesn't like ever post just said, oh yeah, here's all the screenshots from this. Like, dude, what the heck? And I had to quickly click away. But there you go. That was the X-Men teaser for Avengers Doomsday. Our first look at like a character who is not from the MCU specifically, who's going to be in Avengers Doomsday, really showing us that this is a multiverse movie. This is another Avengers movie, but it is the end of the multiverse saga, which has been messy, but we're still doing this. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this, because there are so many little details going by that I want to take a closer look at. All right, let's see what the X-Men mansion here has in store for us. Again, just starts with like a death comes for us all. Well, that's not, dark and depressing at all. But yes, this is obviously definitely the mansion here. Again, it looks like there was already a pretty massive fight here. We got like some kind of light shining in the window, like it's some kind of spotlight or something. Yep, there it is. Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Oh, that's just such a great way to reveal what we already knew this building was going to end up being. Are you prepared to die? Gee, thanks. That's not at all super dark and depressing. Again, we have Charles looking out the window here. yeah, something attacked the mansion, and it does not look like the X-Men won. Yep, there's the wheelchair there. Also, I do want to point out, this is probably, of the 3 teasers we've gotten so far, the most VFX laden one, because the Steve Rogers and the Thor teasers, they just came across as like, oh, that's pretty cinematography. They probably put some like touched it up a bit, but it wasn't like straight up CGI. The stuff that was in there was like, oh, that's like a practical location, that's a practical costume, that's a practical prop, stuff like that. This one has like, you know, Magneto using his powers and Cyclops using his. But there you go. That our first look there at Professor X in Avengers Doomsday and Magneto. Again, they have this whole like death comes for us all thing, and with how beat up Magneto looks here and like the 2 friends like interacting with each other here, I wonder if they're gonna go with the route that like one of them or both of them are actually just straight up dying, especially Magneto here. But the idea that they are dying already before this happens, that would be interesting, which means that they have nothing to lose in the fight. But yeah, there we go. There's our first look at the return of James Marsden as Cyclops in the yellow and blue suit. Finally, that is one thing I am very happy about, is that we are completely past the whole, oh, nobody wants to see these characters in stupid looking costumes. We need to try to make it gritty and realistic. I am so glad we're past that and we can just have the silly, fun costumes again. That shot is awesome. But yeah, there is clearly something walking behind him to the left there. Oh, and I think that looks like another pair of legs on the right. So this looks like it's definitely like almost like another wave to the mansion fight, actually, because if this is supposed to be in the same location, unless they're tricking us and you're made to think this is at the X mansion, this is actually somewhere else, it's clearly more destroyed. So either this is after the previous scenes at the mansion, and it gets even more destroyed, or this is a completely different scene that they've spliced onto it because they wanted this awesome money shot of Cyclops shooting his I-beams forward. Which, you know, that works. It looks great. But what are these big things? I don't think they look like the Sentinels from Days of Future Past. Hold on, I gotta look up what those look like now. No, I don't think that these look like the Sentinels from Days of Future Past. So this might be maybe like a more comic accurate Sentinel. It kind of looks like it could be that. But maybe it's something else. The fact that there's multiple of them is why I'm thinking Sentinel going after these guys. But honestly, who knows at this point? I'm not quite sure what those are. That's just going to be a mystery we're going to have to wait and see the answer for. And then we get our X-Men Will Return in Avengers Doomsday, which is crazy to see that we're going to have the Avengers, you know, and the X-Men in a movie together. Like, that is something that, like, 20 years ago would have seen. I mean, we didn't even have an MCU 20 years ago. But that's crazy. But I want to go back to the shot just because that right there, that's the money shot for sure for this trailer. But something I did want to point out here is that the way he's screwed right here, this could just be like a big attack thing, where he's like taking off his lens so that it's like a full blast and not like hindered or anything like that. But motivation wise for these characters, the first 2 teasers for this movie both had a whole theme of the heroes are now parents, they're fathers trying to protect their children. We have Steve Rogers has a kid now. We have Thor protecting his adopted daughter, which makes me think that might be a common theme here. So did Cyclops, or maybe another one of the X-Men, but I'm just thinking Cyclops because he's the one getting a focus here right now. We know there's going to be other X-Men who were not featured in this trailer. Did Cyclops have a kid? And that kid was taken by Doom, and that is why he's frustrated. Like, this is Doom's forces. It's not straight up Sentinels. Maybe Doom is using Sentinels, but it's Doom's forces attacking the X-Men and taking Cyclops' child. Like that could be a common theme going here, because I'm pretty sure that the rumor is the next teaser is going to feature the Fantastic Four, and we already know from the post-credit scene of First Steps that Doom is going after Franklin Richards. So it's worth wondering if that's going to be a common connecting thread here, is that Doom is going after these heroes' children. Which would be kind of weird considering we just had, Stranger Things 5 where a similar thing was happening with Vecna. But that would also align, I feel like, with the rumor that Doomsday is not going to have Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's instead going to potentially have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And that would make a lot of sense if Tobey's version of Peter Parker had, his daughter Mayday. And then she gets taken by Doom. And we have this similar theme, or for whatever reason, whatever Doom's plan is to quote-unquote save the multiverse by creating Battleworld, it has to do with, for some reason, the children of all these superpowered characters. I don't quite know. Again, I don't quite know, but I do think that it would make sense if that was the similar connecting tissue, the connecting thread for all these characters, just based on what we've seen in the trailer so far. So there you have it. That was my reaction to the X-Men teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday. Like I said, this is definitely like I'm sure they use VFX in the other ones because Marvel can't help themselves. They have to touch up every scene. But this is like the first one that actually shows characters using powers, and it has the classic suits. Is the first one showing us that a non-MCU character is going to appear in this movie, and that much is very exciting. Because like I've said, I'm not rooting against this movie. I'm just, as a fan, concerned because it seems like they're kind of speed running the setup. But I do think it is smart for them to release these teasers to get people excited, to show these characters, because there's just been hardly any setup, so these teasers are needed to give us hype and setup. Although in universe it still might feel a little rushed. I hope it doesn't. But yeah, they're exciting. Like I said, I will keep reacting to these as long as they are releasing them. I've heard rumor that there's potentially up to 6 of these now. I thought before just next week was going to be the last teaser, but now there's rumor that there's going to be at least 2 more of these. I'm fine with that. I'll keep watching them. I will watch them as many as come out. I will be watching them. I'm very curious now, what their plan is here. If they're just adding more afterwards, obviously it's they didn't cut the trailer until then. That's why it didn't get rated yet. I think it was the Korean ratings board that leaked that. And if there's going to be more of these, that's going to get us mostly through January. Is that all they're going to do, is just go through January? Or are they going to do are they going to keep making these every single week leading up to the Super Bowl or something? And then the Super Bowl is going to have the first proper teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday that shows all the characters, or at least a bunch of them, and maybe our first glimpse at Doom. Maybe that's the strategy they're going for, is that this, while it has a countdown to the actual movie release, these teasers are actually a countdown to the first real teaser trailer. I'm not sure yet. Again, this is a very different marketing strategy from anything else that Marvel Studios has done, and I just wish that they weren't putting these in theaters before they put them online, so that stuff wouldn't be leaking beforehand, because I love staying blind for these reactions, but that's almost impossible to do for these, just because, like I said, some random person that never posts anything might suddenly want to post about this. But either way, that was a fun teaser. It was cool to see these characters. Again, they're excited to see Cyclops in the comic accurate suit. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the classic costumes in this movie are going to look like, because we have more X-Men characters that are going to show up. But I'm looking forward to more. Again, once these characters start interacting, I think this is going to be especially cool, because they're all from all these different universes. They all have different experiences, and see them interact on the big screen together is going to be amazing. But anyway, that's good for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please drop a like, comment down below if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys!